All right, hey everybody, welcome to our webinar. This webinar is on alternative assessment ideas using Seesaw. If you'd like to follow along with my presentation, please check out the chat menu, and my teammate Teresa is going to add that link so that you can access it to look at the slides now, or if you want to use it later on. So a little bit about me. My name is Samantha Patton. I am an ESL teacher at Hanley Elementary. I also serve as the I3, the JT liaison, and the webmaster. Previously, I taught first grade in Richardson ISD and second grade at Kimberlin Academy here in Garland. I also serve as a Seesaw ambassador. So if you really love Seesaw and you think it is an app you would enjoy at your school, let me know. Email me, and I'd be happy to set up a time that I can come over to your school and provide some professional development. You can contact me at spatton@garlandisd.net, and I would love for you to follow me on Twitter at Mrs. Patton2. A little bit about my teammate who is moderating for me on the group chat. Her name is Teresa Kenny. She is the special education teacher at Stevens Elementary, and you can contact her at tjkenny@garlandisd.net. If you have any questions at all, please leave your questions on the comments on your YouTube channel or on the YouTube channel you're using right now, and I will answer any questions towards the end of the presentation at 4:30. All right, moving right along. All right, the plan for today. I'm going to introduce the features of Seesaw. Then we will look at assessments using the built-in tools within Seesaw, as well as some classroom examples. Then we'll also look at some app smashing and some examples. I'll also provide some other helpful resources and then answer any questions that you have. And be sure to stay towards the end of the presentation so that you are able to get the link to get your CPE credit. All right, what is Seesaw? So Seesaw is an app that students of any age can use to document what they're learning at school. Students are able to capture their learning with photos and videos of their work or by adding digital creations. Everything gets organized in one place, and it's accessible to teachers from any device. That includes your phone, your iPad, your Chromebook, your desktop. Students' work can be shared with classmates. It can be shared with parents or published to a class blog. Seesaw also gives students a real audience for their work, and it offers parents a personalized window into their child's learning. The reason I started using Seesaw about 2 years ago is because I was always documenting my students' learning on a blog. I was using Blogger. Blogger was super cute, and it was a great way to share student work. The problem was that it took me a long time every weekend to upload student work and add all of the captions. And most of the time, parents weren't even looking at it. So it was cute, but it wasn't being utilized. So about 2 years ago, I discovered Seesaw, and I absolutely fell in love. So this is an example of a Seesaw page. This is an example class. And as you can see, you are able to look at all of the student work that they have uploaded to their own journal. So right now I'm on the class feed. And so on the class feed, I'm able to see everybody's work since I'm their teacher and I'm logged in as their teacher. For parents, to invite them, you just create your class, you upload all of your different items, and then you will go up to the left-hand corner and you will click on your initials. From there, you will click on Invite Parents, and it will create a PDF of QR codes that parents can use to access their child's journal. So they can use the QR code, or they could actually use a specific link. The great thing about Seesaw is that parents are only able to look at their child's work. They're not able to look at anybody else's work unless another student is added to that particular item. And so it out for you in a nice, neat document that you just print out, and then for Emily's parents, you will just send it home to her, and her parents will be able to get logged on. So it's super easy, and it makes everything safe and for your students. So that is how you add parents. Now, this is not an introduction on Seesaw, so I'm not going to be going step by step on how to get started. I will give you resources that you can utilize. So I apologize if I'm going a little fast for the introduction. It's just because this webinar is not an actual introduction to Seesaw, but I will provide you resources that you can use. All right, looking back at the right-hand side, you can see all of the different students. And so if I click on the student, I can see each student sample of their work. Another aspect I like, and that students and parents also enjoy, is that it's very similar to Facebook. So students and parents are able to like the different items that are posted to Seesaw, and then you can also leave comments. And anytime a photo or a video or a project is uploaded to Seesaw, the parents get a notification via their email or on their phone. So that's just a quick introduction on what Seesaw looks like. And it looks very similar on the website as well as on the app. So going straight into assessments, because that's why you're here. So do assessments make you feel like this or this? Well, let's change our perspective of assessments. It doesn't always have to be paper pencil. So why I love Seesaw for assessments. First of all, it gives all students a voice. Literally, they can add their voice to any photo or video that they upload to their journal. It also provides students with choice and ownership. This is one of the best reasons to use Seesaw. So in the past, when I was in the classroom, the first year, I only utilized my one teacher iPad. You know, that blue iPad that all of you have. We only use that one iPad. So what I taught my students to do was that anytime they were interested or proud of themselves on a certain activity that they did, they could take a picture or they could take a video, and then they could just use the iPad to upload it to their journal. One of the examples I always think back to is one of my students who really struggled with spelling. On one of her spelling tests, she had huge growth, and she was so proud of herself. Now, normally, a spelling test is not something that I would have students put on their journal, but she was so proud of herself. She went and got my iPad, took a picture of it, and uploaded it to her Seesaw. And from there, her mother got a notification, and right away, before I could even talk to her mother knew how well she did on her spelling test. Also, Seesaw makes thinking visible. It provides insight into student thinking. Importantly, it also saves me a lot of time. A lot of times I would have students create projects. Sometimes it would be in the form of art, and they would have to show me their thinking if it was a math item. Well, sometimes I don't want to take 22 art projects home to see what they understood. It's just too much work. Well, you can have students take pictures or a video of their work, share what they were thinking and why they were thinking it, and then when I'm at home or when I have time, I can look on my phone, on the Seesaw app, or on my iPad, or on my computer, and I can actually grade their projects from home or anywhere I'm located. Seesaw, it's also quick, simple, and extremely powerful. The assessments are organized, documented to show growth. So if I look back at my Seesaw, it's always going to be in chronological order, starting with the most recent item. Now, let's say that there was a project that the students did on Thursday, and I want to grade the items that they did on Thursday. I would just go to the calendar, and then I would click on the date, and it would show me all of the different items that were uploaded on that particular date. So it's very organized. It also builds strong communication with families. Like I said previously, you can share Seesaw with parents. I encourage you to share your Seesaw with parents. But the amazing thing is that parents can also share it with other family members. If they want to share it with their grandmother that's in California, all they have to do is email the QR or the website to them, and the grandparent can log in. If the child is really close to their nanny, they can share the QR code with their nanny. Whoever they want to share it with, they are able to. And they are the ones who have that choice, not you, the teacher. All right, let's first look at some built-in features that you can use on Seesaw. You can take photos directly from the app. You can take videos directly from the app. You can draw pictures on a whiteboard. You can add a photo or video from your camera roll. You can add notes. You can add links to websites. And you can also add your voice to all photos or drawings. And I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like specifically, or how to get there. So back to my Seesaw page. All right, I'm going to go back to my feed view. Up here at the top right-hand corner is a plus sign. If you click there, that's where you are able to access all of the different features within Seesaw. If you want to take a photo of something in the classroom, you just click photo. If you want to add a video, you click here. Drawing. This is one of my favorite aspects of Seesaw. So if you click on drawing, you actually have a whiteboard app within your app. And so if you are doing a math problem, and I am an elementary teacher, so most of the examples I provide you are going to be elementary related. But if you're in middle school or high school, you can easily adapt it for your students. So if I had the problem 4 + 1, you could have the students draw their thinking on here. And then to add it to their journal, they just click the check mark. From here, you can also add audio. So if I wanted them to explain their thinking, they'd hit the audio and then they would talk about how they solved that problem. If I don't want to add audio, I just click the plus sign and then I would click the name of whoever did this item. I'll just say it was Allison. And then click the check. And from there, it's immediately uploaded to their Seesaw journal. And if Allison's parents were attached to her journal, she would immediately get a notification on her phone or on her email. All right, let's also look at some other features. You can also upload a file. So right now I'm on my computer, so I could upload a file, a PDF or a JPEG from my computer to add to Seesaw. I'll actually show you that here in a little bit. But if you're on your iPad, this link would be your camera roll. So anything you save to your camera roll from any app, you are actually able to add onto Seesaw. You can add a note, which looks like notebook paper. And then you can also add a link to a website. So those are all of the different ways that you can add different items to your journal. So now we're going to look at some classroom examples. So this is an example of a student who took a photo and added it to his journal. So they were doing an activity on symmetry. And so he just took a picture of the item and he added it to his journal. And then from there, the teacher is able to go in and see all of the different items that were added on, let's say, August 15th. There were 9 items added. And this teacher could actually grade or pull small groups based on what she's noticing, based on the learning. This is an example of students using photo and then the draw option. So students took a photo and then on top of the photo, they added drawings to show their learning. Here's an example of a student using photo and then voice. So first they took the photo and then they added their voice. And I'll show you the example of polymers.
I made this out of polymers. Polymers help things stick together, and polymers matter to the world. Polymers can be tires or other stuff. Polymers could have these things that help them stick together so then they don't fall apart. I made this out of polymers with some ingredients.
So from this example, you can see what the student created. But not only can you see what they created, but you can also hear their understanding of what polymers are. And you could use the photos and the voice for just about anything that you teach. Another example would be a student using photo, drawings, and voice. So here's an example of a word sort.
These are the words that have to live. To this, what is the.
So I was easily able to assess that the student understood which words had T and which words did not have T. Students can use photo, drawings, and voice. Here is a great example on rounding.
I have 13 Legos, and I'm going to show you how to round a number. I like to think of it as a mountain, and 5 is here, and 0 is here, and the numbers below 5 round to 0, and the numbers above 5 round to 10. And with my number 13, I would just add 10 to every one. And then, since 13 is closer to 10 than 20, I would say the rounding to 10 is 10.
So that was a great visual of the students' understanding of rounding by using the photo and then drawing and also adding the voice all within this one app. So it literally takes just a few minutes to share your learning. So an assessment check could be used in the primary levels for writing, because we know a lot of our students in primary grades, they're emergent writers. So a lot of times they know what they're writing, but we don't necessarily know what they're writing. And so what you can do is you can have them take a picture of their work and then just have them add audio so that they are able to read their writing to you. And so from there, the parents get a notification that their child wrote that they are great at art, and the parent can have a conversation with that child about what they did in art and why they're good at art. So it's a great way to start some communication between the children and the parents. Another example would be for reading fluency. So a lot of times reading teachers struggle with assessing their students consistently because we don't have time. And so what you can do is actually model for your students how to take a video of your partner reading, or you can have the students take a picture of the book that they're reading or the story, and then they can add audio. And what you can do as the teacher is to just go back and listen to the audio when you get a chance. So here's a quick example. I'm just going to share a few seconds of it.
My grandfather was 2010 when he left his home in Japan and moved to the world. For European Coast for the first time and began his journey on a sea. The Pacific Ocean astonished him. For 3 weeks, he did not leave land.
So this allows all students to share what they know and how fluent they are becoming as readers. This is something that you could print out or create on your own for students to learn how to assess their fluency on their own and to add to their Seesaw journal. So all they need to do is tap the green add button in the upper right-hand corner, tap the photo and take a picture of the page in the book, tap the mic to record their reading, and then add the item to your Seesaw journal. And not only are you able to listen to them as fluent readers, but their parents are able to as well. So the parents are able to see what the student needs to work on too. One of the newest additions to Seesaw is the copy and edit feature, which is very, very exciting. So I'm going to actually show you how to set that up. So what you need to do first is within your Seesaw, you need to change some settings in order for you to allow them to edit. So I'm going to go back to my Seesaw, click my initials. This is where you're able to edit your class. And as you can see, I'm still able to access my previous classes as well. Then I'm going to click Manage Class. From here, I need to make sure that the Enable Item Editing is turned on. So just make sure that it's green. From there, I'm going to exit out. Now, a lot of schools have days like without worksheet Wednesday. And on these days, the expectation is that throughout the entire day, you are not using worksheets, which can sometimes be tricky. Well, this is a solution. So from here, let's say you printed out a worksheet or an exit ticket that is actually, a worksheet. You can take a picture of that worksheet and then have them copy and edit it. If you're on your computer, you can also drop in PDFs and you can also drop in JPEGs. I will say that with the JPEG option, you have more choices. So if you're able to screenshot your worksheet into a JPEG or actually save the PDF as a JPEG, that's really helpful. So I'm going to take this JPEG it's basically a screenshot of a PDF that I created, and I'm going to add it. So I'm going to add a caption. Please use the drawing for audio features to complete this exit ticket. All right, I'm going to click the check mark, and then I'm going to hit the check mark again. From this part, since I am adding it as a teacher, I'm not going to click on any of my students because I'm not ready for them to start it yet. So I'm going to click the plus or the check mark. From there, as a student, what you're going to do is once they get logged into the Seesaw class, on the iPad or on the Chromebook or on the desktop, wherever you're having them log in. So as a student, so let's say I'm Allison, I am actually just going to stay on the class feed. I'm going to click the 3 buttons that are on the bottom right-hand corner. From there, I'm going to click Copy and Edit. From here, I'm going to actually answer the question. So it says, Mrs. Savangsa has a new pool in her backyard that she needs to fill with water. Ms. Jimenez says that she will need to use pints to fill the pool. Ms. Savangsa says that Ms. Betts will need to use gallons to fill the pool. Who do you agree with and why? So I could add a drawing, and I could say gallons. But there's not a lot of space for me to explain my thinking. And that was another part of the question, is the why. So I'm going to click the check mark because I'm going to add the drawing. And then you can add audio. And I could actually go in and explain why I should use gallons instead of pints. Once you do that, you just click the check mark. And then I would click my name. So I'm going to pretend like I'm Allison, click her name, and then click the check mark again. And automatically, within the Seesaw Journal, I am able to have access to Allison's thinking on this exit ticket. And every single one of these students would do the same thing. So I would have multiple examples of what they are thinking. So that's a great, great, great tool if you have a day like without Worksheet Wednesday. Another reason I absolutely adore Seesaw is for the app smashing component. Like I said earlier, anything that you are able to save to the camera roll, you are able to upload to Seesaw. So these are just some different examples of apps that I use as a classroom teacher. So I use Telegami. With Telegami, students are able to create an avatar and have the avatar talk. And so this would be a great way for students to give a book review or for students to just share what they learned that day. Another app, this one with the rabbit, this is called Shadow Puppet Edu. It's another app that is created by Seesaw. It is an app that students are able to create a presentation, basically a slideshow presentation, but you can also add drawings and audio. Another app is Chatterpix Kids. With Chatterpix Kids, students are able to take a picture of an item and then add voice. And I believe go back to my class feed. So this is an example of a Chatterpix.
The book that I just showed is an amazing book. It's about a crew that gets along and the crew found that the problem is still is the crew doesn't come up with.
So as you can see, the student took a picture of their artwork for the Wretched Stone, their illustration, and then they were able to add the book review. Also, you could use Poplet, which would be great for graphic organizers because Poplet saves the whole graphic organizer to your camera roll once you export it. Another app that you may not be aware of is Draw and Tell. The Draw and Tell is actually created by the same company as Chatterpix Kids. I can see it being easily used in primary grades. This is an example of that app. So you're just able to draw and write using different types of paper, and then you can also add audio. Another app that I use consistently throughout the year while I was in the classroom is Do Ink Green Screen. Now this is the one app that does cost money. I think it costs about $3 or $4, but for me it was totally worth it. So with any green screen app, you're able to change the background. So here's a quick example. So as you can see, these students gave a definition and example of the word identical, and then they went on the internet and found an example of a photo for the word identical using the green screen app. I did add tutorial videos for each of the apps in the notes below. So if you're able to access my slideshow, then you will be able to look at the notes and go to the tutorial videos if you'd like to learn more about any of those apps. And please encourage self-assessment and reflection. So with this student, they actually took a picture of their writing, and then they took a picture of their editing checklist, and then they used the app Pic Collage to mold them together. And then they went on to Seesaw, and they used the drawing tool to show their self-reflection of their writing, which is always important. All right, resources and help. I've provided a ton of different slides for you to utilize if you are a Seesaw newbie. So first of all, what's coming to Seesaw 4.5? I am an ESL teacher, so one of the things I'm most excited about is that you are able to translate all of the content into 50 languages. You can also add text labels to photos, drawings, which is also a great component. So there are lots and lots of different resources. Oh, I think it's over. Where'd it go? I think it stopped on my end. Did it cut me off, Teresa? All right, well, if you can still hear me, there are lots of slides that you can still utilize. And to earn CPE credit, Teresa will provide the link.
Oh, you're good. Keep going.
Oh, okay, so it can't hear me? Okay, it just went away from my computer. All right, so Teresa will add the link for you to earn CPE credit. If you need more resources to use Seesaw, go ahead, use any of these links. And if you would like my slideshow, feel free to access it here. If you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to email me. The email's right here. Teresa, do we have any questions? No. All right. Well, thank you for coming. I apologize for the problems towards the end, but take care. Yeah, I think so.
Can
No.
we still see you?
Oh, you can still see me. I don't know why. Where'd it go? Okay.